So welcome to my channel. I'm Margarita. I hope everyone is doing well. I'm so excited for today's video because I have all of these Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Unlock palettes. Finally, I received it in mail and I'm so excited to share my thoughts about this Hourglass holiday release of 2023. All of these palettes has 12 month shelf life, made in Italy, and $90 each. Without further ado, let's start with the video. Thank you for tuning in for today's video. In this channel, I talk anything about beauty and makeup and lifestyle. I love reviewing brands like Chanel, Dior, Tom Ford, and luxury makeup like today, Hourglass. If you like this kind of video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. All the products that will be mentioned in today's video will be linked in the description box below for your convenience to shop. In today's video, we will do makeup swatches in natural lighting, application of these three new palettes, and of course, my final thoughts in the end. As I mentioned earlier, I customized mine. The first palette should look like a jellyfish palette, and this is what's inside. It's so pretty, but it's prettier in natural lighting, and this is how it looks like in natural lighting. This first palette has three new shades in it: the bronzer, a blush, and a highlighter. And the rest are all existing shades of Hourglass. For finishing powder, they have the diffuse light, which is an existing shade. For the second shade, that is a new blush called Rose Fusion. And then the highlighter is new as well. It's called New Opal Strobe Light. The bronzer is new. It's called New Lunar Bronze. The fifth shade is another blush, which is Diffuse Heat. This is already existing shade. And the last finishing powder is the Ethereal Light, which is also an existing shade in Hourglass. So these are the swatches in studio lighting. As you can see, this is for fair skin tone because this is very light. And my skin tone, I belong to light to medium, so most likely this will be light on me. What I will do is I will put these two blushes on my cheeks, bronzer on my forehead, and highlighter. So you can see how beautiful this palette is. I will use different brushes for everything. Let's start with the makeup demo. I will start using this diffuse light for finishing powder for all over my face. I'm using this Hourglass dual-ended brush. This is very good for finishing powders and everything like that. Hourglass is known for their glow from within effect. Like every shade on this palette has a glow. Nothing is matte here. So let's try out this blush. I will try this new blush called Rose Fusion. Oh my gosh. This is pretty, you guys. This is bright and very pink. It's like a peachy pink that has a glow. Now I will try the other blush. This is not a new shade, but I just want to put it on the other cheek so you will see the difference. And I'm using this rougher brush, number 5. Upon swatches, they almost look alike. I was hoping when you put them on your face, they will look different because they're in the same palette, but surprise, surprise! Hourglass love doing this, that they're both pink. They're very nice, but they almost look the same. Okay, let's try the highlighter. This is the one that I'm really excited about because when I swatch it, it has a hint of pink. And let's try it out. Oh my gosh, you need to have a light hand when you use this. Okay guys, that highlighter is beautiful. I love highlighters. I love a glowy blush and I love highlighters that is beaming, but I think this is too much. I will diffuse it. using the diffuse light. This diffuse light is so good when you wanna marry all those colors together and to tone it down. See what I'm saying? This one looks so airbrush than the other one that I did not put the diffuse light. I'll do the same with the other chick. That diffuse light really changed everything. It makes it look like it's a glow from within, not that beaming highlighter. Now let's try the bronzer. I'll put more because this bronzer is a little bit light for me. Remember, this is the lightest palette and I belong to light to medium complexion. It's nice. It gives the warmth that I need. And now let's go ahead and put some bronzer on top of the blush. Usually I put the bronzer first, but I want to see the color of the blush first. Actually, when you put the bronzer, it really completes the look. So this is the side with the bronzer. And this is the side of the cheek without the bronzer. This bronzer is nice. Okay guys, so this is the complete look of the palette number 1. What are your thoughts about this first palette? It's beautiful. I have no complaints. All the blushes looks beautiful on me. The bronzer I thought is a little bit light, but when it was mixed with the blush, it just blends beautifully. And the highlighter, oh my god, this new shade. But the two blushes in this palette looks almost the same, and that's my concern about this palette. It's $90. Okay, so that is my final thoughts for this first palette. Now I will erase all my makeup and we will go to the second palette. Okay guys, I'm back. Now we are into this second palette. Mine, don't be confused. The second palette, when you buy it on Sephora or Ulta or any retailer that carry Hourglass, will be the Leopard palette. It's just that I interchange everything. I don't know why I did that. But it is what it is. On me, the second palette is the Jellyfish palette. This is the design I decided to put in the second palette. But again, the default palette for second palette, the design is Leopard. Okay? And this is how it looks like. This is beautiful. When I saw it, I know that this is the one that I like because this is the most universal among the three. The problem with this palette is there's only one new shade, which is the blush, and the rest are existing shades from Hourglass. I have swatches here in natural lighting. If you're not a collector like me, I collect all these Hourglass yearly. I buy them. This is not a problem for you because this palette is so beautiful. We all know this is the most universal among the three, and this is the one that suits my complexion because this is best to use for light to medium skin tone. That is what I am belong to. Even though there's only one new shade of blush on this palette, I'm still excited to use it. Okay, so this is the swatches in studio lighting for this second palette. And I noticed from the swatches, again, the blushes look almost the same. The new shade and the shade beside it, when you swatch it, very close to each other. So what I will do is, since there are 3 blushes in this palette, I will just try the new blush on the other cheek, and I will put the most famous shade of Hourglass, the Mood Exposure, on the other cheek. Let's dive in to the new shade of this palette. This is the first shade I will use. And the only new shade in this palette is this one, Ethereal Flush. It's a very beautiful pink peachy shade of blush. And I'm using this Dior brush, number 16 for the shade. Okay, this is bright, but I love it. Oh my gosh, did you see the difference? How it really brightens up my face. This is one of the best shades of blushes of Hourglass. I really love it. And for me, that one new shade on this palette, although frustrating, this is the only new shade. I will buy this in single because this is so pretty. Oh my gosh, I'm speechless. Okay, now we're gonna put the other shade here, Mood Exposure, to the other cheek. And I will use this BK Beauty in collaboration with Angie Hot and Flashy. Anyway, this is number A507, one of my favorite blush brush. It's synthetic, but it picks up good amount of color even though it's synthetic. Okay, I already know the shade of this blush. It has a little pink and plum, which I really love. That is my favorite shade of blush of all times because that's the one that really compliments me. So I will just keep on applying it, okay? Oh, you guys, finally, Hourglass. The shades of these blushes are different. This is the Ethereal Flush, the new shade. Perfect balance of peach and pink. It's so pretty, it's so bright. It makes you look younger. This is the Mode Exposure. This one is my all-time favorite. I love this shade. This is my to die for shade of blush from Hourglass. Okay, you guys, which one you like more? The new shade or Mood Exposure? Okay, let's go to the bronzer. Again, this bronzer is not new shade. This is the same bronzer from the Elephant palette from last year. Let's put a little bronzer on my cheeks. And now let's use the highlighter. Again, it's the same highlighter from the Elephant palette from last year. Ooh, Hourglass. So pretty. Okay guys, now we will do the trick again for the finishing powder. This one has dim light, and from my understanding, this is the most famous finishing powder from Hourglass. Maybe because it's so universal, it doesn't even show up on my swatches because it looks exactly the same as my skin. But we will use this to marry these two shades. This just makes the look complete. It's just so pretty. We'll do the same with the other cheek. This is the complete look of the second palette that is perfect for light to medium skin tone. This is the most universal. Okay, you guys, this is the new shade of blush, Ethereal Flush. And this is my favorite shade of blush from Hourglass, Mood Exposure. Which one do you like? Which is your favorite? The new shade or still the Mode Exposure? Let me know in the comment section. I want to hear your thoughts. And speaking of thoughts, for my final thoughts from this palette, even though there is only one new shade here that is new, I still find this palette very universal. This is like the crowd pleaser because first, it suits my skin tone. Second, this is just a complete palette for me. If I will go on vacation, this is the one that I will bring with me, for sure. Okay guys, and now we are into the last palette. Oh my gosh! The third palette is the darkest among the three, and it is called the Snake palette. But mine, I customized it because I ordered an Hourglass website. The third palette will be the Snake palette that I don't like the design. That's why I changed mine completely. Anyway, so this is what's inside. Yes, finally, this is the palette that has 5 new shades. The only shade that is not new here is the first one, the finishing powder. It's called Radiant Light. Here are the swatches in natural lighting. I changed my lipstick too because I know we will go to coral territory. So if you like the makeup that I put in here, I will put it in the description box below too if you're interested. Hi you guys, so here are the swatches in studio lighting of this palette number 3. We have 3 blushes here, and since I have only 2 cheeks, so I will just use last 2 because they are the darker ones. The Coral Haze almost looks like the Mystic Flush, but Mystic Flush is brighter. Let's be bright on this last palette. The first shade that I will use is Mystic Flush. This shade is bright. I already know when I swatch it that it will be too dark for me. That's why I use this brush by Sonia G. If you want your blush to be diffused, when upon application, use this brush. It is bright, but I love it. It's a very good shade of coral. This is Mystic Flush, and this is how it looks like. This is using a very light hand, and it's beautiful. I love it. Now I will use another Sonia G brush that is new. This has a terracotta that has a copper base and it's metallic. When I swatched it, it first reminded me of Charlotte Tilbury. This palette, before I apply it, I will swatch it side by side. This is the swatches of Hourglass Sunbeam. I will compare with this Charlotte Tilbury Glogasm. Okay, maybe not. They're not a dupe, but their finishes is the same. They have this strong copper metallic, which I'm not crazy about, but we'll see how it applies on my cheeks. I am diffusing it because it's too dark for me. So when you apply it and diffuse it, it doesn't look bad at all. It's actually pretty. Okay guys, so this is the Sunbeam. It's a built-in blush and highlighter. It has a strong copper undertone, but when you diffuse it, it's actually beautiful. I like it. I'm not expecting that I like it. I'm already convinced that I will not like it because upon swatches, it's too dark. But both blushes, I actually like them both, surprisingly. Let's try the bronzer. And again, I'm using a brush that I can control the bronzer because it's too deep for me. See, if you will use a light hand, it can work. For my light to medium skin tone, it has a strong red undertone, which actually I like. It's like you've been on a vacation that you had a tan. When I swatched it, I said, this won't work for me because it's too dark, but it's pretty. Okay guys, let's try the highlighter. Okay, the highlighter is a little dark for my complexion, but surprisingly, this highlighter complements this blush. I have no complaints. I won't put any bronzer on my blush anymore because it's already dark enough. I don't think I need a bronzer when I use these blushes on my light to medium skin tone. The 2 that I tried, the Mystic Flush and the Sunbeam. And now I will use their finishing powder, Radiant Light, to marry all this color to make it more airbrush and diffused. Oh my goodness, that's why I keep on buying this Hourglass, because you can see the magic happening right in front of your eyes. I'll do the same with the other cheek. The highlighter is a little bit dark, but it's okay. I'm not crazy about it, but I'm not mad about it, because once the highlighter blends with the blush, it really works. I'm just so surprised. I thought I only bought this palette just for review, and after that I won't be able to use it. That's why I did not buy the Tiger palette from last year, because I know I won't be able to use it. But this one though, surprisingly, it looks good on my light to medium skin tone. This is the complete look of palette number 3. Okay, for my final thoughts for this one, I like it. And this is the one that most likely will sell out fast, because it has 5 new shades. And it's just so beautiful. That's the beauty of Hourglass. Even though when you swatch it, it looks dark, when you put it on your cheeks, that's where the magic happens. So which side do you prefer? The Mystic Flush or the Sunbeam? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Those are the complete looks for these 3 palettes. What do you think of this release of Hourglass? I have clips here of the palettes from the previous releases. I have the butterfly and the elephant here, along with these all palettes from previous years. I have videos from natural lighting of all of them side by side, all together. And when I was taking all those videos, they're starting to look all the same. But if you're not a collector like me, this launch is very good. I love all of them. My favorite is the second palette, even though it only has 1 new shade. What about you guys? What is your favorite? If you find this video helpful, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to put your comment below. Are you buying any of the palettes that I demoed today? If you do, let me hear your thoughts. I hope you have a great day. Goodbye. See you in my next video. Thank you for watching.